Good evening, everybody. This is Spencer Keck on your rainy Saturday. So, y'all, I'm coming at you live from the Hillbilly Think Tank here in Tunnel Hills, Kentucky, where life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is all that makes life worthwhile. And here in this neck of the woods, I know that service to my neighbors is nothing better than that. That brings honor to my life. That shows my commitment to my community. Y'all, there's not a lot of this, though, found in D.C., unfortunately. And we know that folks go to D.C., they get their pockets filled with money from all kinds of, well, just poppers, billionaires. You got APAC, that's one that everybody talks about all the time. But there are other folks who like to put money in folks' pockets, go to DC, you can go there, make $100,000 a year. By the time you leave it, you're going to be a millionaire. And that's not right. That's not service. That is drifting. You've got to end it. So how do we end this grift? Well, number one, we got to recognize the difference between shit and shinola in this country. We got a lot of party lines selling us what they call shinola when it's really just shit. And we should recognize the difference. We have to, if our country is going to survive. Now, what I mean by that? Number one, where are the Epstein files? We know the billionaire class, the pedophile class, does not want us to release those files. And y'all, even though I said this is the Hillbilly Think Tank, now it might sound like an oxymoron. I'm no moron. I can tell the difference between shit and shinola, and I know most Kentuckians can too. So let's look a little bit closer at what's going on to screw every single one of us. So as of early March 2026, the United States Treasury Department has issued a 30-day waiver on basically the sanctions that we had against Russia. We're lifting sanctions against Russia for 30 days. Right at the same time that the whole world is reporting on the fact that Russia is helping Iran target U.S. military. Russia is showing Iran where our troops are, where our ships are, so their drones can target us. At the same time, we lift sanctions on Iran. Does that not sound quite a bit strange? All I can do to contain myself right now, sip a little green cola, because I can't take it. This is absolutely mind-numbing foolishness. Balderdash. What the crap? We're allowing India to purchase Russian oil. So they say this is going to alleviate the global energy shortage and the global energy crisis. Really? So the global price pressures from this conflict in the Middle East, we're going to alleviate it by letting Russia sell India oil from just a few days ago when they allowed this all the way to April 4th. A full month. Russia gets to sell its oil to India. I'm sorry, this is fucking horse shit. That's what it is. We have American troops being targeted by Russian intelligence, Russian satellites. That information is given to Iran. And you were going to tell me that this administration is on the up and up with us about this fucking war? Really? Come on. So this is supposed to help offset the price of gas at the pump. Well, you know what? I would rather have my students that are in my class not lose their legs or hands to fucking combat over oil in the Middle East. That's what I'd rather have. But nope, we're going to let Russia take all their vessels loaded with oil into India and sell that oil off to keep the prices down. Is your son and daughter worth the price of gas being lower? That's what I want to know. Do we need to go into this war in the first place? Did Congress allow it? Did the Senate allow it? Where are the senators' children? They should be lined up right now and drafted. Where are the congressmen and women's children? They should be lined up right now and drafted. They should all be in the fucking military now. You say you're going to abdicate the powers the Constitution gave Congress to declare war and allow this president to do this, then every fucking one of you, since you're not acting as senators or congressmen, you should put on the uniform too with them and go to the fucking front lines. This is absolutely a goddamn outrage. And who's going to feel this the most? Not the Epstein class, not the guardians of the pedophiles. They'll be sitting home, sipping Mai Tais and champagne, eating caviar. So this is absolutely just more of the Epstein class allowing themselves to do whatever they want to distract us from the files. And it's working. We're distracted. No one is paying attention to the Epstein files. No one is asking for relief from the exorbitant prices of everything. We're just allowing this to happen. Let's go ahead and look at some footage of this.
The United States has granted a temporary 30-day energy waiver to Indian oil refineries. India can purchase Russian oil stranded at sea amid the ongoing war in the Middle East between US, Israel, and Iran. The United States has loosened its energy diktat to allies amid an oil crisis due to Strait of Hormuz closure. Trump aide makes a big announcement after US military's torpedo action against Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. On March 6th, the US said it is granting Indian oil refineries a 30-day temporary waiver, giving refiners limited breathing room in the middle of a turbulent energy moment. The waiver is aimed at allowing Indian refineries to continue purchasing Russian energy, specifically by permitting certain transactions so shipments can keep moving into the global market. The US move comes amid regional spillover from the ongoing US-Israel versus Iran war, as disruptions and threat perceptions in West Asia tighten the broader energy picture. The US Treasury Secretary posted on X that the authorization is deliberately short-term and only covers transactions involving oil already stranded at sea, meaning it is not meant to open a long, fresh buying window. Scott Bessent said, and I quote, "President Trump's energy agenda has resulted in oil and gas production reaching the highest levels ever recorded. To enable oil to keep flowing into the global market, the Treasury Department is issuing a temporary 30-day waiver to allow Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil. This deliberately short-term measure will not provide significant.
So, the global oil market is worth more than the lives of the 6 service members killed. The global oil market is worth everything. It's worth our kids. That's what they've decided in this administration. So, is this what we voted for? I should say, is this what MAGA voted for? Are we still proud of it? I guess if you don't have your kids in the military, then there's plenty to be proud of, right? This will keep your gas prices from going any higher than $3 or $4. Yeah, remember, MAGA did this. In the meantime, though, the gilded class, they're telling us that this kind of talk is class warfare. We need to shut our fucking pie holes. Right? Let's don't pay any attention to the fact that they've been attacking us for 50 years, trying to pit us left against right, liberal against conservative, while the pedophile class, the Epstein class, they get away with anything that they want to. They don't pay taxes like we do. They don't even drive on the roads like we do. They are the jet class, the jet setters. They fly around in jets. They don't go down interstate highways with potholes that are more than potholes. They're actually swimming pools that you fly your car through and blow your tires out. They don't give a crap about the infrastructure. They don't use the infrastructure. That's for peons like us. And if they do have to use it, they have a driver for them to drive them around. If there's a pothole that their car blows a tire in, that guy changes the tire. Well, someone else comes out and picks them up. Come on. Can't we realize this? It's not left against right. It's right versus evil. The correct versus the evil. The ethical, the hardworking versus the evil against the billionaire pedophiles at the top. It's what it is. They're doing this in the open. They don't care. It doesn't bother them one bit who it is that knows the fact that they just don't care. They'll do what they want when they want, and we're not supposed to say anything about it. So I'm saying something about it. I urge everyone, call your congressman, demand action, demand that they take back the powers that the Constitution gives to the House of Representatives and to the senators. That's what we should be doing. We should have been doing it a long time ago. But nope, here we are. So let's look one more snippet here.
The United States praised India as a very good actor on Russian oil sanctions while signaling it could ease restrictions on additional Russian crude to stabilize global energy markets. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, speaking on Fox Business's Kudlow program, said Washington allowed India to purchase Russian oil already stranded at sea and is now considering further steps to unsanction more barrels. Bessent also suggested that Washington could take additional steps to bring more oil into the market if needed. Earlier, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced a 30-day waiver allowing Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil. U.S. said the transactions, including from vessels blocked by various sanctions regimes, are authorized through the end of the day on April 3, 2026. Highlighting the importance of the bilateral relationship, Secretary Bessent described India as an essential partner of the United States.
The Indians have been very good actors. We had asked them to stop buying sanctioned Russian oil this fall. They did. They were going to substitute it with U.S. oil.
So, what does this show? This shows that the U.S. administration, at least, is playing with us. They know that that money in the hands of Russia is going to help Russia kill us by helping Iran, and it's going to help them fight that war in Ukraine even longer. 30 days worth of oil sales to India. It also says that we don't care that BRICS is now a stronger trading partner than the ones that we belong to. BRICS being Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That trading bloc is now stronger than our trading partners, NATO. And you know what? This president does not care. He does not care that the North Atlantic Treaty Organization is coming undone, that this war is going to destroy our alliance and destroy our trade with good actors in the world. Are we supposed to take this seriously? Are you really going to tell me you're still taking all this seriously? That you really think this president has our best interest in mind? All right, let's see. We got some comments here. We got the Black Collector. The truth is tough. Isn't it though? We've got Jonathan. We will no longer be a superpower after he is done. Yeah, we are ending our superpower status. And that's what BRICS wants. That's what Russia wants. That's what China wants. And India does not give a fuck. As long as they have people that will allow them to still use their people in their phone banks when you call and need help, you'll be talking to India. That's all they care about. So, what are we going to do about it? Are you going to call your congressman? Demand action. That's what I want to know. All right. Here's how Trump responded to someone who asked him a question about this.
Election, people were making grim predictions for what a Donald Trump presidency would look like. And the Boston Globe famously created a front page from the future. And it was apocalyptic: mass deportations, trade wars, sinking markets, war crimes, civil rights violations. A decade later, with Trump actually as president, we get days like that every once in a while, and maybe none more so than today. Here's what the homepage of the New York Times looked like today. News from a widening war in the Middle East that's brought in at least half a dozen and more countries, a U.S. economy on the brink, a huge miss in today's job numbers sent stocks tumbling so hard, even Fox couldn't ignore it.
So we have a negative number for February non-farm payrolls, a loss of 92,000 jobs. You can see the market reacting. We are also seeing the unemployment rate tick up to 4.4%, a loss of factory jobs of 12,000, government jobs, a loss of 6,000, private sector jobs, a loss of 86,000. Again, all of these numbers, to be clear here, are the opposite of the estimates that we got.
And that Donald Trump at a truly bizarre event about, of all things, college athletics, something Donald Trump was asked about at that event tonight.
It sounds like the Russians are helping Iran target and attack Americans now.
That's an easy problem compared to what we're doing here. I mean, but can I be honest? It's just, I have a lot of respect for you. You've always been very nice to me. What a stupid question that is to be asking at this time. We're talking about something else.
You're asking me about war? about our American service members being targeted by an adversary at a time like this when I'm trying to solve the transfer portal? Do you know how much money these schools are paying in NIL? Do you know? We are talking about serious business here, and you want to ask about war. This is a war, by the way, with, again, no real objections, no real objectives, no real plans, no end goals. But, and really, this is really just the cherry on top of this very, very long day and week. That did not stop Trump this morning from, and I swear to God, I'm not making it up, as you will hear, teasing to CNN's Dana Bash the next war he wants to launch.
He said that the U.S. is doing very well militarily, quote, better than anybody could have dreamed. He said that he rebuilt the military in his first term. He's using it in his second. And then he quickly turned to Cuba. He said, without being asked, Cuba is going to fall pretty soon, by the way, but Cuba is going to fall. They want to make a deal so badly. And I asked, how so? He said, they want to make a deal, so I'm going to put Marco over there, and we'll see how that works. But we're really focused on this one now, meaning Iran.
You can tell how focused he is on Iran by the fact that he couldn't keep focus on Iran for even a full paragraph of text. The man who promised to bring prices down, to keep the U.S. out of foreign wars, cannot stop dreaming up new expensive wars of conquest as working people keep taking it on the chin.
So, could I have said it any better myself? No, I just actually said that. The war. That's what he's worried about. Which one can he start next? As we're the ones paying for it. Won't be the billionaire class, but they'll be the one making money off all the contracts. So, guys, watch where you spend your dollars. We got Black Collector here asking me, is there a product we can boycott to express support against war? Well, I am continuing my boycott against Amazon. Now we're what? We're 7 days into March. I went through 28 days of February, not using Amazon. So I'm now 35 days without giving Jeff Bezos 1 cent of mine. Jeff Bezos is a facilitator. And believe me, they're selling a lot of stuff to this regime. So kicking Bezos in the nuts, that's one place to start. I cut off Chat GPT. That's another thing that this administration is using. If I ever will use AI, which I really don't have hardly any use for it at all, because I've got a brain of my own, I will use Claude. And I've used Claude once recently to try to make a flyer. But otherwise, I've got my own brain. And I'm not, I had a Chat GPT for a bit, cut that off as soon as I realized that also is, that company is helping the regime. We can go down the line. Palantir, AT&T, still got to find a replacement for them that I can seamlessly change and not lose my number, since I've got a political campaign that I'm running, and that's my phone company. But we've got to do everything we can with our pocketbooks to take the money out of the coffers of the billionaires that are facilitating this crap. And it is fucking crap that we say, hey, the oil prices being low, that's what's worth the cost of American sons and daughters' lives. Going to the gas tank and seeing that, oh, the gas isn't over $3 or $4. That's better than keeping kids alive, American souls alive. That's not what I say in my book. We, the people, are worth more than the petroleum. So, again, what are we going to do about it? We have subverted the Constitution going to war without a declaration of war from Congress. None of the Trump kids have ever put on a uniform. Trump didn't put on a uniform because of his bone spurs that, of course, weren't there when he was in the marching band for all of his college time and prep school time. But, oh, they're all of a sudden there when it was time for him to be drafted. His daddy didn't take part in world wars, didn't join the military during the World War period. None of the Trump family members have ever served our nation in uniform when the nation called on its young people to pay the price for our liberty and freedom. Liberty to them is just a word for doing whatever the heck you want, for being a libertine. So Trump thinks that being a libertine is liberty. Well, it's not. A libertine will go out and do what he did on the island with his pal Epstein. But someone with liberty, freedom, and justice for all will not do that. They take responsibility for their own actions. So, again, they've started this war, and we know that young 19-year-old Barron Trump, instead of joining the military, right before this war started, he took $30 million and bought oil. $30 million worth of oil. So do you have that to give your sons and daughters before a war starts that's over oil? Do you have $30 million to give your 19-year-old to go ahead and play with in the oil stocks industry or the oil industry? I know I don't. He needs to get fitted for a uniform quick and for combat boots, desert tan style, to go into the infantry, as I said last night, right away. If any of the young men and women from Hardin County, Kentucky, or any other areas of Kentucky, any other states in the United States are going to go lose their lives, they need to have every single member of Congress there with them, since Congress says it's not their duty to do anything about this war. It's not their duty, they said, to stop it. So as we destroy our superpower status, hey, put them in the front. They should be the first in the cannon fodder, not the men and women who have borne the price for years. This rifle bore the price. It paid for freedom for years in my family. And every generation since then, up to me, we've all paid the price for our freedom in this awesome country. But we have never seen the Trump family there. And as of late, we have not seen any senators' kids or congresspersons' kids there. So if they don't think this country is worth fighting for, why should they send us to fight their wars? Again, Russia is being allowed to once again sell their oil and to trade it with their favorite trade partner out of 5 trade partners in BRICS that they trade with. They're selling that oil to India. And we're allowing it. When right next door, then, to India, Iran is getting intel from Russia that they use against us. If this isn't an outrage, if it wasn't enough that we had a pedophile island, and there's so many files redacted that no one's bothering to look at, no one's prosecuting any of those guys, you should at least outrage you that your sons and daughters are going overseas to be killed for oil. And for what else? For the whims of which countries? that have twisted our arm into this. We know it's a distraction right now from the Epstein files. No one's giving a crap about it. And he's got another war, as they said there, in the tank, ready to go. We'll topple Cuba next. Do I like any of these dictators we're talking about in those countries? Fuck no. I like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But it's up to those folks. And it's up to us to keep real sanctions on dictator countries like Putin's, but we're not doing it. So it's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Nothing more. Actually, probably a whole lot more, but nothing less than smoke and mirrors. Y'all, once again, we know here in this county that if we're going to come through this, we've got to take care of each other. We've got to buy local, help local, do anything we can to keep our money in Hardin County, working for Hardin Countyans. And if you elect me for the magistrate, I will do that. And I will do anything I can to make sure that our tax money stays here as much as possible to help us out. Doesn't go out of the county for things that we don't want. None of us mind paying for the price of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness with our life, if that's what it's called for. But to stir up opportunities to die for billionaires, none of us want that. We would rather have our tax money spent here in Hardin County on us, on our EMS, on our roads, in our schools, and all the things that we need in this county. On business startups for veterans, business startups for the disabled, business startups for all of us that want to work an honest life, unlike the Epstein class. If Trump can give his kid $30 million to spend on oil right before he kicks off the war, we should be able to spend taxpayers' money on business startups. They're going to generate tax revenues for this county that needs it, not for the Epstein class. All right, y'all. Remember, I am running for Hardin County Magistrate, District 3. Please vote for me. Please like and subscribe to this channel so we can get the word out there more. But more importantly than that, remember that here in Kentucky, united we stand, divided we fall. And if we're loving our neighbors as ourselves and we're taking care of our neighbors just like we would take care of ourselves, then we cannot be divided. We'll recognize, hey, we are our brother's keeper, we are our sister's keeper. Bless our corazón, which is Spanish for heart. And remember those deployed. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, you can get some time out there without getting soggy.